Hey y'all. So, just a quick phone video. I apologize for the video quality, but I got a great question this evening. Sort of a follow up of the last your first year of drum lessons video about practicing priorities and there's so much to practice and how do you know what to practice and I felt like that was too much for a comment reply, but I think a short video should do fine. So I just grabbed my phone and let's go, right? So this is one of those areas where when you, especially, this is true for your whole life, but especially when you are a newer student. I almost use the word younger student, but I don't mean younger as in chronological age. I mean younger as in new to the drums. You're not going to have a great perspective on what the most important priorities are. We can work around that, and I'll get to that in a second. But it's why, really, like I say, at every point in your life, it's a great idea to have a teacher, have someone on the internet if you can't have one-on-one in person, but ideally in person, in the same room with you, who can watch your progress and figure out what you need to do next, what your weaknesses are, how you're progressing. Hopefully they will have some sort of standard curriculum that they're working from that they will adapt to you, right? And they will be able to tell what you should be working on at any given time, okay? And you can discuss with them, you know, if they really want to teach you jazz at a certain moment and you say, okay, I understand that jazz is important, but right now could we focus on Van Halen, right? Or rock in general. Most teachers are going to be pretty cool with that, okay? You have to learn jazz eventually, right? It's not like you can say, nah, I don't want to learn jazz ever, right? I mean, sure, you could do that, but what the heck is, well, there's not really a good point to that, right? So ideally you have a teacher who's helping to guide you through this process and helping you to make those priority decisions. One of the things I talk about with my students all the time is, okay, you're practicing a half hour a day, an hour a day, 45 minutes a day. Let's talk about how to break down that 45 minutes. Also, one of the things that's going on with my video series is, like I said at the beginning, I'm sort of assuming that everyone that's watching is a perfect student, which just means that I'm expecting you to have mastered one lesson before you move on to the next. And mastered is kind of a loaded term. All I mean is you should feel very confident in that material before you move on to the next. So with the next lesson, let's say we were playing 8 on a hand, right, left, 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 right, left, 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 left. And the next lesson is now we're going to add accents, you know, right, 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 left, 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 right. If you can't comfortably do the 8 on a hand, you have no shot of doing the accents, the accented version, right? So there's that, right? There's a lot of stuff that's cumulative. And so with my lesson series, even though it's designed, there'll be 52 by the end of the year. But maybe it makes sense for you to take 2 years to do the program, or 4, right? There isn't a right speed to go at, and don't feel like you need to go at a certain speed. You go at the speed that you can go at. Okay, so second best, if you don't have a teacher in the room with you helping to guide you, is a relationship with a teacher one-on-one on Skype or some other streaming service, I don't think Google Hangouts exists anymore, but there's more online video chatting than just Skype. But you know what I mean with Skype, right? So you can see each other. Your teacher can see you on, your phone or whatever. And likewise, you can talk about what makes sense. What should you be practicing? What can you let go? What do you need to work more on? What does it make sense? What are your long-term goals, right? All that stuff. So in a room or on the internet, a one-on-one relationship with a teacher is the best when we're talking about priorities. And again, this is true for everybody. I haven't been able to have a relationship with a teacher myself in a while, and I've been thinking that I need to find someone that I can have some lessons with. So even someone like me, who I've been a teacher myself for a very long time, and I know how to drum, but even I, right, am looking to improve and want to study, and some direction around priorities from someone else who has a different perspective and has some expertise could be very helpful and beneficial, right? Okay, so let's assume you don't have a private teacher either in person or on the internet. You kind of have to figure it out on your own. I will tell you a few things. It's really important to master things before you let them go, right? You want to be able to play things fast and slow. You want to be able to improvise with the tools, right? So we haven't really gotten there yet in my video lessons, but let's say accents. You want to be able to play accent patterns all over the place. Accents in, 16th notes and 32nd notes. And we're not going to do those right now. There are certain things you can put down and pick up, and there's a flow to things, right? But you want to, even when you've put something down for a while, you never really want to consider it done unless you've totally mastered it. And honestly, I still go back and work on the most basic of the rudiments. I work on single stroke rolls and double stroke rolls and paradiddles all the time. Okay. There's a really great app called Rude Metronome, which has a thing that'll take you through all the rudiments, all of them. Might not be all of them. A good chunk of the rudiments, in like a 10-minute little block. A lot of people will take like one rudiment a day and work on that rudiment that day and then the next day. So you can do a lot of things with rotating things in your practice schedule. If you're dealing with limited time, which of course we all are, you have to figure out how to hit everything you want in the time that you have. And there's no right answer to that. You have to just make decisions. I will tell you one thing I learned about 10 or 15 years ago. It's a nice short little snippet, and I like those a lot. And that is, being focused means saying no to almost everything, right? So the important thing is, when you do decide, okay, I'm going to focus on this, and I'm going to focus on this, and I'm going to focus on this, don't worry about the things you're not focusing on, whether it's things you've already learned or things you're hoping to learn or the next step or whatever. Just focus on what you're focusing on, okay? And that will help you to master those steps so that then you feel like you can move on, all right? There's two concepts I want to talk about really quickly, and then I'm going to wrap. So the first is, I'm going to call it break your time into thirds, but it doesn't have to be exactly thirds. But you want to spend about a third of your time. So let's say 45 minutes. Okay, so we've got 15 minutes and 15 minutes and 15 minutes. I'm going to show you something in a second that's going to contradict this. So this is mine, and then there are other ones too. So for about 15 minutes, I would spend warming up. Okay. And that can be anything. Right at the moment, if you're using stuff we've learned in my videos, 8 on a hand, paradiddles, single stroke rolls, just stuff to get your muscles moving that you don't really have to think about. Okay. Then for 15 minutes, learn something, right? Whether it's a snare drum solo or a drum beat or a song or whatever, work on something that challenges your brain that you can't play. Okay. And then for 15 minutes, have fun. Play along with a song you already know, play a snare solo you know how to play, right? Build some fun time into your lesson time or your practice time. And like I say, that 15, 15, 15, that's, you could spend 10 minutes warming up and then 20 minutes on learning something and then 15 on fun, or, make the learning something a little bit longer. Your brain doesn't do great in sessions of longer than about 20 minutes of active study when it comes to learning new things. And so if you were going to practice for several hours in one day, it would actually be better if you did several sessions broken up over the day, right? If you try to do 4 hours, then you would want to break that up. If you're behind the drum set for 4 hours in a row, say, you would want to break that up with periods of just playing stuff that you know and then learning stuff, and playing stuff that you know and learning stuff back and forth, because your brain just needs time to process things. Okay, so I think I've answered that about as well as I can. I'm going to show you one thing before I let you go, and that is this right here. Is the Modern Drummer released a 45-minute practice routine. And if you just Google Modern Drummer 45-minute practice, or even I think 45-minute like PDF, right? So it's a PDF, you can print it out. And it has a setup so you can put the date down. It has a place for warm up, take 5 minutes to get your hands and feet warm. Subdivision, improv for 10 minutes. Main focus for 20 minutes, metronome and timer required, and then play to music for 10 minutes. And this is a great way to break down your time too. As for the specifics of what to put in, okay, so what do I work on? I apologize. What warm-ups do I do? What exercise do I do next? Again, that's where a teacher is going to be the most helpful. I can only guide so much on the internet, right? And that's probably the thing that requires the most personalized instruction is how do we set your practice schedule, and how do we pick your priorities? And if you're on your own, you have to just be using your best judgment. The strongest advice I would say is try not to overload yourself, right? It's better to do fewer things well rather than try and cram more things in not as well. There's no pace that's too slow to learn stuff, okay? You want to go as fast as you can, but if you try to go faster than you can, and I'm not saying don't work hard and don't push yourself, certainly work hard and certainly push yourself, but there's a line where if you try and cram in too much stuff, suddenly everything is going to turn into mush and you're going to get discouraged, right? And the most important thing for learning anything is repetition and consistency. And if you get discouraged, you're going to skip days, and before you know it, you're going to get more discouraged, and before you know it, you're going to stop drumming, right? So it's really important that you don't overload yourself to the point that you crack, that you don't think, oh my God, there's too many things. You know what? I've been drumming for over 40 years, and I still think there are too many things for me to learn, okay? And I'm planning on having like another half a century to do more and more and more stuff. And I think all the time, oh my God, there's not enough time for me to get to everything. Okay. So that not enough time feeling is a very natural feeling. And you just have to kind of make peace with the fact that you will always feel that. As long as you are studying anything, you will feel like there's not enough time to get everything you want to get done. Okay. So I hope this helped. If this didn't help, please feel free to clarify and ask me more questions. I feel like I could say more, but I also feel like I would just be repeating myself. I think I've said everything I wanted to say. So like I say, if this doesn't help, let me know and I will try and clarify more. But this is my best advice. Honestly, my best advice is try and work with a teacher if you're having, especially for this particular problem. How do I set my priorities? How do I make my practice schedule? That's very much a guidance, is like individual personal guidance is very helpful for stuff like that. If that's not possible, then just try and do your best. And like I say, if this wasn't clear, please let me know and I'll try and clarify. And good luck, right? This is a really fun instrument, and I don't want you to feel overloaded and get discouraged, because that's a crappy way to feel. All right, so hope this answered your question. I hope this answered the question for everyone else who ever watches it. Yay. If you like this video, like this video. If you hate me, you can dislike this video. But please subscribe and hit the notification bell. And I'll see you all again really soon. Love you guys.